There we go. All right, chat. Let me know if you're hearing me. Hopefully you are. I have not done one of these in a while. So I am just, same as last time. It's going to be a bit of an experience. All right, so Kaio, Papa Kaio Blackwell, of course, an absolute Star Wars legend and supporter. I'll make sure everyone on the Patreon gets a shout out before the night is done. And there's Chewy and Trevin, two of our cast members, who you'll probably hear from in a little bit. Fatal Charm, what's good? What's good? I haven't heard from you in a while, my guy. It's good to hear from everybody. Everett is currently sleeping in the back, and your favorite janitor is taking over. Hello, Mary. It's just so nice, man. Like, I'm gonna get in my feelings a little bit, I think, tonight while we're doing this. Probably go for about an hour and a half or so. Keep an eye on the time. This is the last live stream till 10,000. Don't know when we're gonna get there. Don't mind. I'm not really too big on that, but I want to make sure that they are, that they have a little bit of a nice specialness to them. Although I have debated doing charity live streams as well. So that's something that I think I'm going to be addressing and like looking at doing sometime in the new year. But we'll have a look. I will have a couple of a few guests with me. Right now, I have the wonderful, the flickering as always, Spirit Voices, aka Lucy, who got in bang on time.
Woo! I told you right at 6.
You did. If somehow you haven't subscribed to Spirit Voices, please do so. Apparently 1,000 people did in the last month, so people are still picking up the odd narrations. Obviously, Lucy plays Callista and is one of the biggest driving forces behind what goes on at Dusklight. The thumbnails are mostly Lucy. Any of the transcripts from our early episodes, so not just the summaries, she does those as well, but also the literal transcripts are Lucy. Can't stress enough how incredible she is. And we've also got Chewy, who plays Jimmy in the Nightmare Detectives.
Hello, all.
He has one of the most friendly voices you'll ever meet. A man could snap you in two, but he is the nicest human being. And we might have a couple other cast members dropping in. I'm not too sure, but we're going to hang out for a little bit. Kaio, I do miss the live streams when you at first post your videos. It felt really time to talk with everyone while they were playing. That is something, the only reason I haven't done that recently is because the way I'm trying to do the scheduling, as you've kind of gathered at the moment, is like, it's super, like, all over the place. And that's why the algorithm is kind of a bit whatever. And actually, while I've got a moment, big shout out to Dark Somnium, to Ronnie. As you guys will know, he sponsors Dusklight Radio. He shares as much of our content as he can. He has no obligation to do that. Like, there's no contract, whatever. He's just a good fucking dude. Obviously, I work with him day in and day out, and we produce a lot of cool stuff together and other people's stuff. You can't meet a better guy in the narration space. He was going to join. I think he had to go and do something. Maybe he'll pop in a bit. If he can, I'll invite him to our server. But the videos don't get the views they do without him, because my algorithm is so bad that as a result of my poor posting schedule, people don't always get the actual notifications. So I am trying, in the next few months, I'm going to try my best to get a good schedule. Maybe every 3 days, I think, is what I'm going to try and do. But obviously, one of the reasons I wanted to do the live stream was to hang out with all of you, to really kind of answer some questions and let you know about what's coming up as well. And we're also going to talk to the cast. Get a little bit of everything. Ronnie being Dark Somnium. Alex, hey buddy, good to see you. Also, I missed a message. Todd Vance, it'll happen quick. I really hope so. That'd be great. But you know, I'm quite happy if the channel never like kind of gets to those like massive numbers. That's not something I'm too worried about. My writing, great. My work, like outside that, great. But Dusklight can kind of be small. I don't mind too much in that respect. Kaio, also to the entire cast of the Nightmare Detectives, you don't know me, but I adore every last one of you. You do a great job, and possibly even a better job with the Dream Team. I was here laughing. Oh, that's really sweet. So, actually, you know what? Before I continue, Lulu, why don't you tell the group about what the dream team is, like,
good.
how it came to be?
I love how this is my okay. Well, the dream team is essentially a mirrored version of the Nightmare Detectives, exactly how it sounds. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did it come from Squilliam Fancy Sun? Is that his
Yes, it did.
inspiration?
Yes.
Okay.
I,
Squidward's rival in SpongeBob, for
yeah.
those who don't know that particular reference.
So one of the things with D&D, obviously, you guys know half my job is writing, and the other half is voice acting. And one of the best things for voice acting is doing D&D Monster of the Week. And I was like, man, I need to expand my repertoire. And I can't remember how the joke. I think the joke came out because I was like, I need to give Jericho a rival. But much like Paint Gunkerson, who everyone loves, it was meant to be like a little bit of a joke. And typical D&D, a small joke turns into this big, beautiful character. And yes, Squilliam Fancy Sun, Lulu, that is correct.
Yes. So we have mirror versions of every single one of our characters, and we have done a couple one-shots that I believe are on Patreon, yes?
Yeah, the Dream Team Nightmare Mendoza Land, the very first one we did, which has been a Patreon exclusive, that is going to go up at the conclusion of the current arc, Hotel Inertia. So we got, so not this week, the week after, that's going to go up for everybody. It is the biggest shitpost you'll ever see, and they become more and more chaotic. As time goes on, because now the Patreon subscribers know about Victor Mendoza, the real and fictional. The listeners, we just put up and I'll Bring You Death, but the next episode is the finale, and then we'll be putting up then. So you guys are in for a treat. But yeah, the Dream Team was kind of a concoction of just a bit. It was just meant to be Babylon, which Babylon Stump instead of Jericho Branch. Very creative, and then we expanded it out to encompass the entire group. So every character had an antithesis, and I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll leave it there. But it was so much fun.
Yes.
And Mary Ann Peck. Sorry, Mary, you said you set an alarm. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you so much. And again, like, these names, I try and commit as many of the names I see regularly to memory. And there's a lot of people here that either have been here from the beginning or have popped back up. And then there's, Kayo and Alex and Mary in particular, who I know have been here like since the very, very beginning. And it's just really appreciated. It's really appreciated how many of you have stayed here from the beginning to watch this grow. And I think that's very important to acknowledge. So thank you very much. So with the schedule, I'm going to try and keep to every 3 days. That's the attempt anyway. The other thing is like finding content that doesn't require a ton of work. Like I wish I could still do some of these sound effects and stuff, but in order to get everything out in an ample time, sometimes I have to kind of pull back. I'm a big believer that there has to be a degree of production to it, obviously working with Ronnie all the time, but I want you guys to have regular content. So that means Nightmare Detectives every Wednesday, a Dusklight Drive-In every week or 2 weeks, and then a Sturgeon story or another narration. And if I can keep those three together, I think it'll eventually get, we'll get favored by the algorithm, but we will see. And obviously, I hope you're all enjoying Nightmare Detectives. That is mine and the group's baby. It's something that when we started it, I don't think at least it wasn't my full intent at the start to put it out there. I think I approached Lucy about it like after like 3 episodes, and I was like, this is actually something we could really use when we revitalize Dusklight. And unashamedly, it is everyone's like something we're all very invested in, and so I love seeing the comments. I've got a bunch of questions I'm going to get to in a moment, but I love seeing people pick their favorite characters and little moments. And actually, what Chewy, while you're here, is that what's your experience been like with the Nightmare Detectives as a cast member?
Well, for me, this adventure that we've partaking as a Nightmare Detective is my first ever dip into a TTRPG. So for me, coming in as a like a brand new player, not knowing anything, it's been an adventure, and it is been one that I have enjoyed immensely.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that. I think that was the biggest thing, was like a lot of our players, except for one, had ever played once before, right? I think everyone was new, if I remember correctly, aside from Trevin.
Yeah, I played Monster of the Week once, but it was really short. Like I didn't really know how to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm pretty sure you're right, Teach. I'm pretty sure everyone else was new to the TTRPG gameplay style.
Yeah, and that made it fun. And I think something Kaio's just mentioned as well that I want to sort of link into. And obviously, again, if anyone else has either autism or ADHD, y'all are gonna either appreciate or hate my way of thinking. I jump around a lot, but one of the things with Dusklight, when I made this channel 2 years ago, when I first started it for fun, it was really important to me that I had a place to do my own thing. That I had a place to put my stories, share my universe, and make it more immersive, because I knew people were really starting to catch on with Sturgeon, and they were very keen to know more. And obviously, the biggest champion of that was Dark Somnium, was Ronnie, and he still is, and Romnex as well. Actually, I'll say both of those two incredible human beings. And when I came back to it after I had another contract that I've got an NDA, but I had to work with them and I couldn't do anything else, which is understandable. No problems there. When it ended and I came back, I was like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing in the narration space. No shade to anyone. There are incredible people out there, Lighthouse Horror, Jordan Group, another writer who is an everyday machine. Just incredible work. Vidith and Lady Spukaria, they're just so good. But for me, that's just not what I wanted. I wanted Dusklight to be something that was just people coming in for my content and occasionally other people's stories. And I wanted to add something different. And I realized that while it would be a challenge to write these scripts every day, or every 3 times a week, aside from the standard bits, it was really important that I tried something new. And one of the things that Kaio's just kind of touched upon is the intro and outro. I haven't changed them in a little while. I changed out a couple words and the skits, and obviously biggest inspiration was Welcome to Night Vale. But telling everybody at the end that they're okay, they're loved, every day is another chance, things like that. I wanted them to be important words of affirmation, because at the end of the day, all of us seek comfort in something, and I think a lot of people check out narrations because they have trouble sleeping. They might be traveling, they might have a long job. I mean, look at the world we live in. It's fucking expensive to look after yourself and survive. And I wanted people to have something where they knew that those efforts, those difficulties were being acknowledged, even if it's by someone who, is just a voice through a radio. Obviously, I can't befriend everybody in the chat, and that's obviously an important gap between, myself and the listeners, but I do want people to feel like they have somewhere to belong. And Kaio, that's something I really appreciate you saying. And there was a comment that, as I get to the questions, that really resonated with me, and it came from, and I showed this to Lulu. It came from Amber Magruder 6985, who said, "What was your inspiration behind doing the intro and outro in such a manner? I had my son listen to the outro. He's been having a rough time being a teenage boy." Oh god, I have the advertisement. Sorry, I'm streaming the music on my non-premium account because otherwise I can't do the broadcast. That is so annoying. All right, hold on 1 second. There we go. He's been having trouble having a rough time being a teenage boy in high school. He said the way you made it personal feeling to him was awesome. Just the little reminder they remember your love. Thanks. And I mean, I've kind of answered that, and I really appreciate it. But that's kind of why I did it, is I wanted to just be able to pass that universal message on, whether you're an older, advanced individual who is later in life having trouble, whether you are middle-aged and you are changing jobs, or life has had some difficulties. If you're young and you've got children, you just started out, or you're even younger and you're having trouble at school, like, I wanted something universal, I guess. And that was really important to me. Sorry, I'll go through that. I've been rambling. I came for the writing and stayed for the community. I appreciate that, Mary. Hoshang Fun, your narrations are the best. Much love from the Netherlands. Oh, I love the Netherlands. I'm actually I'm at Scandinavia on the weekend. I go out there every month or so for like wrestling work. So I'm out in Denmark. Love the area. Would love to go to the Netherlands soon. Kaio, we've stayed because the environment is inviting and beautiful. Honestly, whenever you sign off Dust That Radio and you say sleep in a cold side of pillow, appreciate that. And you guys are mentioning White Wolf Masquerade. I definitely need to check that out. Chewy, Lulu, do you know about that? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, but again, like I said, I've never played it, but I have heard of it.
I have not.
Okay, I might have to have a little look at that. That sounds interesting from the gang talking about that. Kaio, Jimmy got robbed in the courtroom. Chewy, how do you feel about that? I mean, this is out now. This is no longer a spoiler.
Okay, well, eventually Jimmy they get their comeuppance, so don't need to worry.
Did you feel that you got robbed though? Did you feel you got wronged?
Yes, but we'll leave it go for now.
Yeah, Jimmy gets his comeuppance. Okay. Paranormal Gambler, glad you hit 5K. It is well deserved. Your writing and storytelling is by far the best of you. I appreciate that. I think I've got a ways to go, but I appreciate that. Also, before I forget, the music you're hearing right now is slower pace, Lost in Space. I am a big lo-fi and vaporwave and barbershop beats person. Where are we up to? One-Eyed Garden Gnome. Been subbed for a while, but wasn't sure where to start with the world. Lulu, what would you say?
The world is so expansive. I mean, there was a bit of an order though to the narrated stories at the very least.
Yes, there is.
I remember copying and pasting that a lot in the comments of NFC.
Yeah, there is a Reddit which has a so r/TJ Lee, the pinned post is the Sturgeon Mythos Guide. That gives you all the ones to read and obviously to listen to. I think we both agree the best place to start is The Last Sin Eater.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
Which Romnex has done an incredible narration of. Would always point people there. Alternatively, if you're on the Chilling app, the incredible Autumn Ivy did a great narration of it on there as well. We'll probably redo it again at some point. Obviously, the book is on Amazon. I am doing something I need to mention about the books as well, so I'll do that in a little bit. There's so much to cover. That's where I would probably recommend One-Eyed Gardener. Go from there, and then I would go straight to the bar series that we did with Dark Somnium. That's probably where I'd go next.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can listen to, things like the Nightmare Detectives without the context. It'll just be more enjoyable for you if you do have the context, because you'll recognize some of the characters, some of the, lore references, some of the world references. So it'll just sort of, like, I think it can be a standalone thing, but it's like better if you've listened to other stuff.
Right. First. Yeah, I definitely think, I'd say that's fair. I think, like, it's nice to have those extra bits and bobs, but the intent of the Nightmare Detectives is people to get into it and then go and check other stuff out. Obviously, for long-time listeners and readers of Sturgeon, they have been, the most I get recommended to write and pushed to write is Hotel Inertia. They've been begging me for it for years. So that was why the first proper arc was based in the Hotel Inertia, because that was my way of saying, hey, look, I may not actually go back and finish it, but here is what I would have done. And the reason being, at some point I absolutely will. But like the reason being is that it's very challenging for me as a writer to go back and finish something that I started when I was in a very different headspace and different skill set. I truly believe my writing right now, especially if you guys have checked out The Graves We Dig, which is the start of my book on Ronnie's channel, which we'll talk about in a minute. I believe my writing is in a place now where it's very hard for me to go back to doing that sort of stuff. And at some point I do need to finish it, but I never want to force it. If I force myself to write something like that, it's not going to come out the right way, if that makes sense. But I will eventually do it. I promise. yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Fatal Charm. My son loves listening to your channel too. He and I would listen to it before he went to bed. He loves horror channels. Oh, that's really cool. Thank you so much. If your son, Fatal, if your son has anything in particular that he really likes, or there's a, there's a particular style he enjoys, let me know. Maybe I can put something down the pipeline. I'm always very open to what listeners are curious about, like things that they want. Obviously, it's very clear that my listener base is not that interested in outside stories if they're not from the Dustlight Drive-In. Like you're clearly here for Sturgeon, and I would honestly prefer that. I guess it's a unique selling point. But please do let me know, though. I'm always open. PRDEL12 says, did the beach episode already happen, or is it still to happen? No spoilers, just yes or no, please. Okay, we'll keep that simple. It is yet to happen. It is actually ongoing in our current campaign. So yeah, I will say no more. I do not want to spoil anything. Kaya Vogue, I remember sometime back you said something along the lines of you would do a narration for Hotel Inertia. Once you finished it, how close are we? Well, okay, so this is it. I could, and I very, do you know what? I might. Maybe I will for Christmas put up the first 5 parts that I've done. And see how that does, because the biggest problem, much like with the bar series, I'm still working on that, is getting people together. It's very challenging to get people in the right roles that I want in the right style, and I'm very particular about those. But maybe I'll do. I think I should probably do the bar first. I promised that at 1,000 subs, so maybe I should do that first. And then I think me and Lulu will try and work on that over the holidays, maybe, and then we'll do Hotel Inertia straight after. I would hate to leave it on a cliffhanger where it's never done. I don't know. It feels kind of like teasing to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What do you think, Lou?
I agree. I think, to be fair, I'm the kind of person who like commits to doing a project and just straight goes until that one is done, and then I can start a new project. If I start 2 at the same time, then I'll never finish the first one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm a little biased, but
bar series will definitely, I think, should go first, and then we can always go from there. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I think definitely if people want it, and it's very clear they do, then I probably should get on doing the get on doing that. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to keep in mind. And a lot of people's first exposure is the bar series. Like it's kind of crazy. I think I talked about this on the previous live stream, but I've done writing now for professionally 13 years, and you see a lot in that time. And one of the things is like you're told is don't think your work is the most groundbreaking thing ever. Like stay humble, don't overthink it. And I've seen some people really get into their fanfic, and I love that. I love how people like they no one should care more about your universe than you. And obviously with the rise of Marvel, universe stories have become the biggest thing imaginable. But like for me, I always thought, okay, you know what, if even a few people like my stories, that's great. I could have never envisioned that in the span of 2.5-3 years we would have 3 million plus views. To have 1.2 million on the bar series, to have 700,000 on the NFC, and it's insane. It's really, really insane to me, and I'm just so grateful that anyone gives it that much of a shit. That's something that I never want to discount, and it kind of blows my mind. I try not to think about it too much because I think I'd get in my own head a bit too much. Like I always listen to people's feedback on my work to a degree, and like what characters they want and stuff, but I've always tried to stick it in my own brain and put a bubble around it. And also, sorry, Alex, thank you so much, my guy. $4.99. Thank you very much. You did not need to do that. Again, for any Patreon subscribers, anyone wants to donate, you are welcome to. It is immensely appreciated, but please never feel obligated to. we are in a trying times, and you know, I always want to make sure I'm giving as much content out as I can to help ease that burden. But thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate that. Okay, Mary, your writing has grown so much. The universe you create with Sturgeon is comparable to what J.K. Rowling did with the Potter universe, or what Tolkien did with the Great Tales. That's a huge compliment. I mean, say what you like about J.K. Rowling, and we could say much, but on the scale of success, which is what I know what you're talking about, and Tolkien, who is a big hero of mine, that's a very big compliment. And I mean, thank you so much. That's just, yeah. I think I'm at a place in my work now where I am very happy with the content. Like, I'm very proud of all the stuff I've done, but when I look back at like some of my really early content, like the Bar series, and then I look at Graves We Dig, and I look at some of the stuff that's coming up, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's only because I've practiced and worked at it and listened to fans and listened to colleagues that I've gotten where I am. And so I think it's so important to trust yourself and your instincts, but also I think it's important to know what your audience wants, and trust them. You know, you don't have the base you do if you stray too far from what your audience wants. Also, Mary, thank you. At $4.99, thank you so much, guys. That's really appreciated. Again, I just don't feel obligated. Like, that's really wonderful. Thank you very much. Just you guys being here is great. Honestly, it really means a lot to me. I think it's important, and we've talked about this. You, Chewy, Lucy, we've talked about this in game, about one of the biggest lessons we've had is embracing the moment. Embracing what you have, whether that's with each other or in our characters. That life is painfully short, and that's not a scary thing. That's a wonderful thing. That's a humbling thing, and it's what you do at that time. And I believe people find their purposes, and I do believe mine is to mystify, entertain, put stuff out there, and the fact that anyone cares, the fact you guys care is insane. Like, I wouldn't be doing this, and I should mention this to the audience, I would not be doing any of this without the people around me. Like, there is no Nightmare Detectives without Lucy. There's no Nightmare Detectives without Trevin, without Amanda. Oh, sorry, Amy, excuse me, bad habit. Without Flebs, without Victor, without Trevin. Without them, there is no Nightmare Detectives that expands Sturgeon. So during the time I haven't been writing a lot of Sturgeon content because of work and personal things, this has become my way of giving back to all of you every single week and saying, well, I'm expanding it now. You know what I mean? And it's because of them. So every time you guys check out the Nightmare Detectives and you love it, please make sure you give a silent thank you or even a comment thank you to these guys. If they don't turn up twice a week and put up with me, we don't get extra content. So
vice versa. Based on some of the way these sessions go.
Well, I mean, are you really a DM if you don't get shit from your players?
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's a rite of passage, I guess.
Okay, I've got to catch up a little bit. Graves We Dig was wonderful. Can't wait. Thank you very much. The next two parts are coming. They're coming together. So Ronnie and I have talked about it. We're going to put chapters 2 and 3 together. I don't know when. We are working on some stuff for the schedule. It's, you know, it'll be soon, and I am really excited for where this goes. I'll come back to that in a minute about some comments and stuff that, you know, doesn't bother me, but I'll just address that. But just to catch up, now the question is, what type of swimwear will who wear? We literally had this conversation, and I'm not kidding. PRDEL, we had this conversation on Monday's session. We had an entire section about who was wearing what. So don't you worry, we covered everything in full anime Gurren Lagann Adventure Zone style. We went through everything. Like, I think the final interlude, because that's not spoiling the beach episode, but the final interlude is 6 parts, I believe. It's like the longest interlude we've ever done in the campaign. Is that right, Lulu?
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Insane. Yeah, Paranormal Gambler, the Hotel Inertia was great. The voice acting is amazing as well, buddy. Keep the great work up. Thank you very much. The biggest issues that we had were some of the mic qualities, because again, you know, the gang had just started, so there was it was not fair on them to expect the quality there and then. And there is some like audio tearing issues because I was running on a very old computer, and I did want to say I'm autistic. Quite a few people in our group are on the spectrum, so I understand with misophonia when people get overstimmed by the cutting out of noises. I am really sorry about that. I can't take them out. That's the only thing. Because I record on OBS, so the whole thing would is in one file, which I'm gonna have to change for our next campaign. But please be aware that until like maybe the end of the next arc, it's like that. So I apologize. Professor Brink, I'm glad I actually caught you here. Do you have contact details? I wanted to talk to you about developing a role-playing game for PC. Okay. I believe my email, Lulu, is my contact email on Dusklight? I think that should be there. I have a bookings one.
I think so. I can check.
If you wouldn't mind, because that's the one I use for like stuff like that. If it's not, then do you know what I would say to do? Actually, Professor Brink, drop me a message through Reddit. I don't use it very much anymore, but I need to sort of get on with RTJ Lee, and we'll talk on that. Juby Samurai. Running is how I found your channel. I'm very glad I did. The wife and I love your stuff, sir. Thank you very much. That is appreciated. I'm going to switch this up. God, it's actually a little bit more of a... I mean, when we first did a stream, there was like... I mean, not in a bad way. It was like 8-9 people, and it's like so much I have to catch up on now. It's kind of cray. PRDEL for the 100 CCK. Thank you very much. And that's a super chat. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I didn't realize we had those activated, Lucy. That's
the super chats?
Yeah, I did not realize that we had them, so that's fucking sick. Thank you very much.
You get them. I think you get them by default at some point. I don't remember.
Okay. I'm an expert YouTuber, I promise you.
It might come with monetization. I don't remember.
I know YouTube stuff. I know how that works.
Same. Me too.
Is well deserved, mate. As I said, just stories of voice actors, top tier stuff. Thank you, Paranormal Gambler. Hoshang Fun, do you read manga? And if so, what are your favorite manga? I read a lot of manga. Shocker. I am reading right now, I've got it in front of me. I have the very first copy of Die Dark by Q Hayashida. Absolute recommend. It's so good. I don't really know how to accurately explain it. It's kind of like to do with it's kind of like necromancy and space action is how I'd put it. So I would say that I'm a big Berserk fan. A lot of the my fashion is very based on like bootleg drops and stuff like that on Instagram, and I wear a lot of Berserk stuff. So definitely that. I love Junji Ito as well. Oh gosh. Chewy, do you read any manga, or have you ever read any manga?
Actually, I do not read manga. It's something that I've been wanting to get into, but I've just never really took the time to do it.
It's incredible. I would definitely recommend it. Also, even though it's not manga, I'm actually quite a big fan of Green Lantern. I've just reread the Sinestro Court Wars and Blackest Night. I just adore that entire storyline. I'll think of some other... Oh yeah, Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days is fucking incredible. I am absolutely looking forward to the anime adaptation. Of course, One Punch Man. Of course. Okay, Trevin saying spirit voices. I know exactly what he's doing there. Michael Kusheshkau, Ohayo gozaimasu. Congrats on 5K and 4 subs. Thank you so much, buddy. You popped up a couple times because Lulu's mentioned you and your incredible artwork. Is that right,
yes.
Lucy?
Yeah, for sure.
Michal, if you could, I would love to talk to you about some artwork for Dusklight. If you could get in touch, and I would love to just sit down and have a chat with you and see if we can commission something. I have seen your work. I know how incredible it is. I would love to.
It's amazing.
Yeah, let's get something going. I'm gonna get an update refresh for Everett and for the banner. I have debated about doing a rig as well. Like an actual rig for Everett, but I wonder if that's a little bit too uncanny valley. But let me know what you guys think. I definitely want to commission a few more poses from the incredible Mandy Mo. And if not Mandy, then if Mandy's not available, I'll get someone else. But I just want to get a little bit more work with him, especially with those intros now becoming like 6 minutes long. I think people would appreciate a little bit more, a little bit more like emotion from him. Paranormal Gambler, they are all great as well. Sorry, didn't mean to leave them out. Also, thanks to everyone involved. All this, that's okay. Don't worry. It was more of a me letting you guys know. Like, I think it's important that everyone knows who is behind Nightmare Detectives. That there's a great amount of people involved in this, and it's not just about me. You know what I mean? And Trevor and Lucy going back and forth in the chat.
Ignore that.
Hoshang Fun, I know you'll probably hear this when you wake up, but thank you very much for joining us. I know it's very late. I've actually got quite a few listeners in the Netherlands now. And I know you are staying up extra late. It's like nearly 1 in the morning, so thank you for joining. Kaio, where did the idea for Endercott's full name come from? Because I love it. I think Lucy can answer this one.
I can answer that one. Endercott's full name is inspired by a podcast that we both really love, which is Hello from the Magic Tavern. So if you know Usador, the wizard, don't tell him. Please don't tell him.
No, I don't want to get sued. Please don't tell Matt.
Please don't
tell Matt, please.
So yeah, that's the inspiration behind Endercott's full name, but it's so funny. It's so every time.
Oh man, Endicott is one of my favorite characters. I do believe a campaign can be as dramatic or as funny as you want, but if the characters and the NPCs don't matter, or they aren't fleshed out, it's not as fun. And like for me, this was my chance to really kind of throw in a bunch of existing characters and some really fun ones, and a lot of what I came up with was not planned out. Improv is such an important part of Monster of the Week. Although I will say, I definitely broke this game. And the arc that we're about to go into, Knowledge is Power, is fine. I mean, it's in a wonderful, funny arc. The arc after that, I will not name right now. I went full shonen. Now, I think my listeners are going to love it. That is not how Monster of the Week is played. And I know there are going to be some people who are going to be understandably like, TJ, come on now. And they'd be right too. You know, some people are sticklers. But we had a talk as a group, and we all decided that we should stick with it. We did not know that we were going to be 7 arcs into this game, because this is not meant to be played that way. But I mean, I remember saying to you, Chewy, like, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, should we switch? And you were very much like, no, let's finish out with the game we've got, right? You didn't want to change the mechanics.
Yes, because at this point now, it's very nostalgic now. I want, I enjoy the way the game's played now, so I don't want to change it as we finish.
Right.
Might as well play it out now the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to finish out. Definitely, we want to, when we go to the next game, we've already talked about our second, like, smaller campaign and our next proper big campaign, and those are completely different mechanics, and that's going to make it much easier for what we want to do. And we'll talk more about that probably at the beginning of next year, because I think if we keep the schedule every week, I think March, maybe April, we'll be done with Nightmare Detectives. We'll be very deep into our next game, but that's fine. So yeah, we'll talk about it near then. Professor Brink, your story about the arcade game is really good. Thank you. That's Demi's Adventure. I had been sitting on that story for year and a half. It was meant to go to one place, then it was meant to go to another place, and again, I'm a professional. There's nothing, no shade. Just, didn't work out. It happens in production. I work with a lot of different companies. Their schedules get busier, and eventually I reached a point. I was like, you know what? This is really personal and important to me. Obviously, it's about my dad. It's about the right to choose dementia. I'd like to go to Ronnie, and Dark Somnium did just such an incredible job with it. To have 250,000 views on that is very important to me, and if I was to run a charity stream, which I probably will around Christmas this year, I'm going to do 2. I will probably do one for loneliness at Christmas, so like Samaritans, and which is what we have in the UK, and like the suicide hotline, things like that. I want people to have somewhere to go, probably on Christmas Day, actually. I'm thinking of doing one in the evening when I get home from my family. just for a while, I think it'd be really important for people who have had difficult years, because I certainly know what that's like. And then the second stream will probably be a live one-shot, which the money will go towards the Dementia Research UK, and I'll have to find a US version as well. We'll see where we go with that. But that's certainly some ideas I've got to run by the group as well. Great, I love, but Trevor and Jericho is great. I love Babylon, seriously. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. He's a sweet boy. Professor Brink, Blame. Okay, Blame, I have checked out on Netflix and I was really intrigued. The art style is stunning, so I'm definitely going to have to look at that in the manga. I'm traveling, actually this is relevant to you guys, so I'll be in Japan for a little while at the end of the month or beginning of December for some wrestling stuff that I can't talk about. I will have content going up, but there might be a lull. I will keep you posted, and if there is, please continue to just check out and support whatever's out at the time. I will need those sweet watch hours to make sure the algorithm doesn't kill me. Alex Nunez, we love Everett. BS Artist, yay, I made it. Hello, TJ, Spirit Voices, and friends. Congratulations on the milestone. You deserve all the best. Thank you very much, BSS. That's really appreciated. Kaio, if you like Junji Ito, look up the game World of Horror. I know about the World of Horror. I was a big fan of the early access. Do you guys, Lucy, Chewie, do you guys know about World of Horror?
No, I do not, personally.
I don't either.
Chewie, you were of an age that you'd remember those classic kind of MS-DOS kind of games, right? With the, they'd have the big, like, I guess it's almost like the point-and-click adventure ones.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, yes.
Yeah. Put a filter of, like, a grainy white and green filter and hyper well-drawn manga depictions of Junji Ito's, like, horror work. And that's what you've got. It's very nostalgic and also very horrifying. Highly recommend if you like spooky games. Really good. BS Artist, where did you get the inspiration for Everett? He's so charming. That is a really good Everett. So I like the voice. I like the Southern dandy voice. It's very nice. It's a very nice accent. It's easy on my voice, and it's just very pleasant. I knew I wanted to do a half-dead host. I didn't want it to be me. Because like I don't know, like I like being the janitor. I like being the goofy kind of character. Like I don't need to be the center of attention for that. And I think people like a southern drawl. Listen, when I was going back through old time radio, his accent sort of stood out to me a little bit, and it was one I could consistently keep. So yeah, and just kind of giving him a little bit of a, you know, he's really old, and his family are even older, and the Blackwells have been around Sturgeon. Just kind of like, it was a good way of segueing into, you know, one part of the script is about another area of Sturgeon that, you know, a family member ran, and then, you know, it might be I base it on a prompt for what I'm doing. And then the other one is just like, I could use that to promote a writer, I can use that to promote my work. And again, it was something else that I knew no one else was really doing, at least on YouTube, where I actually had a full script to promote the writer, to promote the voice actor, to promote their work, and it worked within the framework of what I'm doing. And I would hope that in the long run, other narrators will do that. But yeah, it just came in, and I just flashed it as I go along. I usually start with a basic premise, like Paint Gunkerson. It was just a guy who sounded like he cooked meth and in the backwoods and made paint. And that was it. That was literally it. And then it became, because I had these floors planned out in Hotel Inertia based on their roles. If they did a really big success role, they'd go to the right floor. If they went to a middle role, they'd go to one of the really weird floors. And if they went a bad role, they'd go to a bad floor. So paint was just one of them. And then from there, he has blossomed into the man he is today. Okay. Michael, sorry. Just let me know how to contact you. I tried before regarding fan art for oh, cool, for Alduin. Lucy can send you my info. My Discord is probably best, so Lucy can send you that. Are you cool with that, Lucy?
Sure.
Yeah, Lucy will be in touch. Professor Brink, you keep a lore book or something to put your world together? No, I don't. I probably should. I guess I don't get too stuck down in the weeds with it. Because I know the work quite well, so it's kind of stuck all in my brain. But as we move to the next game, I'm gonna have to do that for sure. I'm gonna have to do that. Ethan, welcome, buddy. Did Ronnie ever make a cameo in Nightmare Detectives? He has not made a cameo yet. We have talked about getting him in. It's just scheduling. But I think we've spoken about Lucy and said that we want to get him in for something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
a little hard to. It's hard to get a hold of him sometimes, but
yes,
because he's so busy, he just has a packed schedule all the time. But if he's able to join at some point, it'd be awesome.
He's got a busy schedule, and like me, he can be quite forgetful sometimes as well, which I don't blame him. So we just try and work on it. But the guy, can't stress enough, he'll make time for anybody. If you're good to him, which why wouldn't you be? He goes above and beyond. I can't say enough good things about him or Rum.
Agreed. Yeah, he's such a great friend to have in the community, for sure.
I do work with him, but he's not a colleague. He's a friend. We've been working together for years now, and that's how I met Lucy. So all the best things to him.
Yeah.
Professor Brink, I saw the way you had written it up, and the Nightmare Detectives could definitely be adapted really well. Definitely. It would be a dream of mine to do it as a comic at some point. It's gonna be one of those things that, and when it's done, I will look at shopping at places. Obviously, I have a talent manager who handles a lot of my IP stuff, so it may be something that I'll give to him. Because where I'm at in my career, I'm quite lucky that I have people I can go to for things like that. But obviously, again, with anything adapted, I have to talk to the whole cast, because it might be my idea, but if the cast aren't being looked after, there's no point in doing it. So we will see when we get there. I certainly would love it. I don't think about it too much. I think the experience has to come first, right?
Yeah.
Agreed. Demi's adventure was heavy and fantastic. Thank you, Kaio. Alex, so I guess you get watch hours when we sleep to your stories. The longest at the moment is the compilation, which I use. Let's get some more going. Yeah, I would. I just haven't put out enough content, but I'm actually going to do a Dusklight Drive-In super video. Probably when I go for Japan. So I've got one more drive-in, and then I'll put the 4 of them up, and that'll be a super video there. If I could do that with the Nightmare Detectives, I fucking would. I so would. But the maximum limit, I believe, is 12 hours. So, yeah. So, Professor Brink, okay, buddy, let's, World of Horror style game. I'm down. Let's talk. We'll see what we can do. I would be 100% down to have a conversation about that. Paranormal Gambler, I've been stuck on Elden Ring the last week. It's amazing. Yes, I am a big fan of that. I love From Software. Bloodborne obviously was a big inspiration on Hotel Inertia Arc, and I finished it, so I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know what you're up to. Paint Gunkerson definitely makes crack paint in his backrooms. Yes, he does. And it's not illegal because it's not crack, it's paint. So
yeah, he has a workaround for that.
Big distinction. We also just got to the part where, and this is not spoiling anything, but Spirit Voices is meant to say Callista drinks paint. You remember that? You remember that bit?
I do remember that bit.
Yeah, that was something. It was great, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, she. I maintained she was tricked a little bit, but she.
I don't know about that. Professor Break, I swear Ronnie doesn't sleep. He does not. The man is extremely dedicated, and it's inspiring. Even when he's got COVID, he is still making content. It is insane.
I do not know how he does it.
I really don't know how he does it. Paranormal Gambler, it's amazing, really. I got it last week. I've been loving it. I think it can't get any better than it is. Then find something new, crazy how big Elden Ring is. It's a love-hate thing, truly a stunning game. I completely agree. That game is so good. It's so beautiful, and they did such a great job of getting everything together. And I mean, oh god, it's just what an experience. Like, beautiful game. One of my favorites, and we're probably never going to get another Bloodborne, so I will take solace in what I can get. You know what I mean? Okay, question from Rayleigh Nostick, who is a longtime fan. What's your inspiration to create the Sturgeon mythos? So I kind of answered this already, but one of the things that I wanted when I was a kid, and I think everyone starts out doing some degree of fan fiction, is I wanted a universe of my own stuff. Like, I was writing, like, Super Smash Brothers, the original 1998 game, like, lore on, like, NES, doing, like, PK Fire against, like, Goku and Vegeta and stuff like that. And then I moved into writing for Newgrounds when I was about 16, 15. And I was doing, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, it was Battle Royale. I was like doing it with all these creators on there. It was really fun, and I that was the first validation I really got from my writing, and I realized that people would pay attention. And then obviously I wrote The Expressionless 3 years later, which, I mean, that story is just the fact that's gone as far as it has, and it's reached as many people as it has. That's my creepypasta legacy. Then with the Sturgeon stuff, I'd been on No Sleep on and off for 10 years, and I really wanted to do something in the pandemic to keep my mind active. And I was so inspired by the Adventure Zone balance. I guess it just sparked something in me. And I was like, oh, what about a bar where they do really weird drinks and tell stories and they have a cycle? And then I just started planning. And when people started to pay attention to it and people started to respond well on No Sleep, I got like 4,000 upvotes and stuff. I was like, oh, well, that's all the inspiration you need sometimes, and I started doing it. And that year was the busiest year I think I had in writing. I think from September 2020 to 2021, I did all the arcs, and it was very busy time for me. So yeah, that was what inspired me. I really wanted to put something out there that was a bit too shonen-y, I'll admit. I've now kind of split my horror in that Sturgeon stuff. 9 times out of 10, it's almost like a bit of a kind of like manga anime meets horror, whereas the stuff I'm doing with Ronnie, the book, my first full-length book, that is pure unmitigated horror. No funny business, no comedy, very unsettling. Think Cabinet of Curiosities, Guillermo del Toro. I am aiming to go for the jugular with that. So that is something that means a lot to me. I guess I should talk about that real quick. I've just seen the question from Mary. I'm going to answer that in a minute when Lucy's back. And welcome, Catimius. Almost missed this. And I think the wonderful Amy just joined the call. Amy playing Margot Sloan.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing, Amy?
Oh, I'm good. Just finished dinner, and here we are. I'm good.
Always good to have someone else joining in.
I was listening while I was cooking, so
I hope
I'm all caught up. Oh, it sounds great.
So, one thing I want to mention to you guys, and I want to say this right off the bat, I feel very safe here, and I think that's something we don't talk about enough when we're creating content, is that this is my audience. I curated it, and there is expectations of, this is the kind of person I am, and my values, and, we're not going to get into the weeds about, the differences in opinions and stuff like that. I'm very much like, you respect me, I respect you. But I do want to just mention one thing. When I put a story out into the world, especially one on Dark Somnium's channel, that is, has, nearly 1 million people, and a lot of them know me. They know I also do a lot of voice work there, but you are going to get a lot of people with different opinions, and I've got a thick skin, so there's no, I'm not going to sit here and complain about anything, but I just want to kind of tell you guys this, because you're my people, so I feel a lot more comfortable saying it here, because eventually I'm going to have to say on Dark Somnium. So the book I'm writing, it is all about experimentation in horror. That is the primary mechanical focus of how far can I push horror as a narrative. If any of you have heard of House of Leaves, think of it in those terms, and then add in the sort of adage that, the horror is meant to be strange. The other thing is something very dear to my heart. So I'm writing 2 books back to back. One is going to be about like dementia. That's coming in about a year or 2, and then there's this one. And it's about different... The way we manifest hate, I suppose is the way I put it. So I'm non-binary. I don't make a big hoo-ah about it. You guys know me. I'm not pushy. My pronouns are he, they. I don't mind being referred to as he, him. Doesn't offend me. But that's why Everett does they, these, and gentle thems. He's always done that because he represents that part of me. And I've tried to incorporate a little bit in my work here and there. And this book came from a very personal place. I started writing it before things got more and more heated in the online space with the way minority groups, trans people, non-binary people are being treated. And I wanted to write something that was not preachy, that was not so obviously in your face about queerness, which is nothing wrong with that, by the way, to be clear. But I didn't want that because I knew I wouldn't win anyone over. I wanted to write something where the aim is people who don't get it would maybe get it. People who are intolerant because they're scared of it, which is what most people are like, would get it. That people who love someone or know someone or are someone who is non-binary trans would have something to represent them. And that's the point of the story, is that because a lot of people are like, oh, why are you referring to Gale as them? Oh, it's woke. And it's like, well, it's not about that. It's that horror famously is a queer genre, and it's something where we use to push the boundaries. And one of the scariest things in this world is the level of hatred we see, hatred for women, for minorities, for different religious views. And I want to encapsulate that with something that I've experienced, and that's what's motivating me. And I'm fully prepared. Outside of my own sphere, I am prepared for people to, which they already did when I used to have Twitter, sending me some pretty unpleasant things and whatever. That's fine. I just wanted to be upfront with you about what it's about, because it means a great deal to me. And obviously, you guys have listened to Nightmare Detectives, you've listened to my Sturgeon content, you know I have gay characters. I mean, Kraus, the very first character I came up with for the bar series, is trans. It's F to M trans person, and everyone loved it. So I believe you guys will be fine with this, and hopefully you are. But I wanted to be upfront with you guys about that straight away and tell you what it means to me. Because at the end of the day, like, if I'm not writing about things I'm passionate about and getting my thoughts and my feelings and my fears out there, you're not getting an authentic experience. Demi's adventure works because it's pure grief. There's only embers at the end works because it's grief. And this is the same thing for me. So I really hope you guys will give it a chance. The first part's obviously already out. The next part is coming soon. And I truly believe it is the greatest piece of horror fiction I've ever written. I believe it is the greatest Sturgeon lore I have written so far. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. I only ask you try it and are respectful about it, and I'm sure you will be. So that's my little standing on the pulpit speech. Like, Lucy, you've read like the first half of the book. What do you think of it? Like, just take some attention away from me for a minute.
No, I mean, I 100% agree. I think it is very, like, it's very unique. And I personally, and listen, I don't know if it's because of my short attention span or just because I also write and just appreciate the variation in style, but I think it is very cool how it all switches up, but then also like comes together at the same time. I find myself really entertained every time every time both of us like read a chapter together, and so I can't imagine. I understand that there may be some like stylistic differences of opinion between some people, but people who enjoy that kind of style, I cannot see a reason why they wouldn't enjoy that, because it is really fun. It's fun to read, but there's also some of those elements of horror that we all enjoy, and yeah, it has that like authenticity to it as well, about like the characters and how they interact. And yeah, no, it's great. I've loved reading what I have read so far.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that you guys can experience is there's a transcript story, like purely transcript. There is a second person horror story. There is a play in the middle of the story that is very berserk. It's Shakespeare meets berserk. I have no idea how it's going to go over because it's never been done. Like, in the horror narration space, I don't believe what we're doing has ever been done. And so, you know, I wanted to tell you guys first before you heard it anywhere else. You know, this is a community of a creator is sort of a reflection of the creator. And I like to think that the people who follow me can have their opinions and stuff, but they have love in their hearts, and they know to love and respect someone who is different to them. They're like me. open to change and willing to listen. That's all I ask. That's all I ever ask of anyone. I'm not interested in participating in a lot of the online discourse. I don't know about y'all, but it's exhausting to me. I don't have a Twitter for that reason. I just find it to be too much. I focus on what I'm doing in that respect, which leads me to the other question. I want to wait till Lucy was back. So Mary asked, is there a Discord server for your channel, a place for your loyal followers to hang out and get to know each other? So we talked about this, and the only reason I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, is I didn't know how active I wanted to be in that. I am like socially, I am quite like a bit of a hermit, and I do believe in a bit of a divide between the reachability of the creator, I guess, in that sense. Like, I love being able to interact with you guys. I just don't want to overreach that in the age we live in as well. Like, however, I guess I'm not opposed to it if it's like moderated and people can kind of go there just to hang out and we can do channel announcements. I guess that I suppose it's inevitable the further up we get that we would eventually need something like that. I think it would just be with the expectation I probably wouldn't either be in it or I wouldn't really like talk much in it. You know what I mean, Lucy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am technically an admin for the Dark Somnium server, and I use the word technically because I am there very little. I'm very bad at my job, so I hope that no one in the chat is from there because I'm never there. I'm so sorry. Nor am I on my own server very much. I personally understand not having one unless you're like committed to running it or have people that you trust a lot who are committed to running it, because it truly, I mean, and it depends on how big it gets, because of course the Dark Somnium is a huge channel at this point. So there's a lot of people in there talking pretty much all the time, and so it is very much a commitment if it's something like that. My server, for example, is pretty small, and I would say it's, like I'm not sure if it's like small or average or whatever, but there's not that many people in there, so it's not as much of a commitment, but it's still something you have to like monitor. So it really depends on whether or not you have people who are willing to do that, which I don't know. I think you probably could find some people, but me personally, I'm really bad at it. I'm never on.
I think Mary's right in that. Sorry, let me just catch up on that actually real quick. You're absolutely right, Lucy. Let me quickly go back through that because I realize once again I'm falling behind. Ethan, your universe is amazing, and the Nightmare Detectives is my favorite thing so far. And Callista failing the Gashapon unless they're alone is amazing. Oh dear.
I responded to that already because Callista and the Gashapon have a rivalry going.
I really went hard on you on that failure. I'm really sorry.
We're enemies.
I thought it was funny, but I also am really sorry.
You still think it's funny.
I do, but
funny.
I felt bad though. Like you just sitting there and this confetti coming around. Oh man. How was Dr. Good Doctor? Ethan says. So Dr. Good Doctor is a joke from Bob's Burgers, where they Gene and Alex get a message, like they send this letter over saying that they are not well, and it's signed Dr. Good Doctor. I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I was like, oh, what if it was a like a Eastern European or Middle European doctor? Just funny accent, easy to do, crazy character. But the group hasn't. I don't believe listeners have met him yet, Ethan. That's Patreon exclusive. That's okay. He's a minor character, but I love him. Spoilers. Experimental Horror's tricky was worth it. Just remember you are lucky to me. That's really sweet, Chewy. Also, sorry, Lucy, I didn't tell you. Thank you for all your work. Yeah, Callista's a great character. I love when she gets stumped. That does happen.
Happens quite a bit.
Yeah. But yes, I do enjoy the trans content. I really appreciate that. Alex, I love that we love and support you, of course. Absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't say any of this. Kaio, 100% Alex. Anyone who says otherwise, me and Alex got them. That's what I want to hear. Like, I really like just like a balance of respect. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, you'll never see me kicking up a fuss, having a tantrum because something doesn't go my way. If someone was disrespectful, I probably would just immediately just remove it and just walk away from it. But I want to at least just open people's minds to what else is out there. That's all I want is just a chance for people to listen. That's it. Horror should be for everybody, and that's how I feel. Mary, I wouldn't care if you were a yellow spotted dinosaur. Being comfortable in your own skin is most important. It doesn't matter what a person's orientation is. I just don't like meanie heads. Can we all agree we don't like meanie heads? Meanie heads just suck a dick.
Yep.
Yeah. Meanie heads is just
Meanie
such a baby Callista word as well. Meanie heads.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Professor Rick, formerly known as Twitter, yes. R.I.P. to Twitter. Yeah, Mary, I think you're right. I think we'll talk about it, and BSI's Discord can be a lot of work, especially to moderate. This is it. And we do have people, like, I think, Amy, you said you have been a Discord community manager before?
I have, yeah. I've managed a couple, like 2 servers I created and managed myself, and one got pretty big, so I passed it off, but it was because I stopped playing World of Warcraft, so anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I like managing Discords.
We'll have a little think about that. We'll talk as a group about it.
We can definitely talk about.
Yeah. And I think I think there is a point though, BSIs, I still join just in case you want to post updates or not. And I think this is it. Is like I do think so. The YouTube algorithm is brutal. Like there's no real way of saying it. Like so, until Dark Somnia shared us, like we were getting 150, 200 views, and then we get that big boost. I think if we put it up in the Discord, we're more likely to get people seeing it quicker. I think it's an inevitability. I'm just conscious of how much I would pop in and out, and I think that's the only thing we would talk about. But I think this conversation and the chat has sort of made me think that perhaps that's what we sort of need to do at this stage. With 5,000 people in the subscription area, I think we might need to look at that. So we'll talk about that afterwards. Kaio, TJ, thank you for your work, along with everyone else's. I need to run with me and my wife. Fatal Charm and the kids will love and support you. Shout out and be safe, everyone. See you soon. Oh, Kaio, congratulations again on the baby. Congratulations on our little Aria, the newest Blackwell member. I didn't realize Fatal Charm was your wife. That's really sweet. Well, I hope you guys are safe. The Payne Gunkerson message should be in your inbox. If it's not, please Patreon message me when I get back from Denmark on Monday. I will take a look at that for you. We really appreciate you as a member of the Blackwell family. Thank you so much. Professor Brink, looking forward to Nightmare Tournament Part 2 Annihilation. It is coming. So, the NFC is coming, as in Season 2. The book, okay, I'm covering everything, I'm trying. NFC book, if I can get that shit edited in time, I am gonna get that up by Christmas. I don't want to hold myself to that in case I can't because of Japan, but I am hoping to get it up by Christmas, and then we will be looking at doing an entire hardback book, which will be year 1, which will have extra stories in it and everything else. Amy is about to head out, so Amy, thank you so much for coming in and just saying hi and whatnot. You are an incredible member of our group, and
good to be
Margot, here. We really appreciate you.
I love doing it, and I just wanted to at least be here for a minute. Everyone in chat that said nice stuff about Margot, thank you so much, and I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.
So the book, the aim has always been to do a year 1 collection. That will be strictly me doing that. I just need to go a couple of things. I need to just speak to a couple of people about some rights acquisition stuff, nothing major, but that would be the aim. I would front the hardback cost myself because it's not cheap. The only thing is I wouldn't sign it. I actually have some books I still need to sign and send out, from a while ago. People have been very understanding because, like, my dad passing and whatnot, but that's no excuse. I got to get that done. So I won't be doing any signed copies until I know for certain everyone else is covered, and then we will go from there. But maybe Discord might be a good place to, because we can have an entire section that is just for book releases, and yeah, this might be something we have to do, Lucy. So we'll have a chat about that.
That's the list.
Yeah. Hey Lee, I answered your question about Sturgeon Mythos. What inspired me? Short version, Adventure Zone Balance, and a lot of stuff with H.P. Lovecraft and Terry Pratchett. But if you go back earlier on in the stream, you'll hear it, the full thing. I'm glad you're here. You're a day 1 supporter. I really appreciate you. Ethan, what a perfect Christmas present. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I would like to get at least the NFC on its own out. The book cover is done. The art is done for it, so it's just about getting it done. Mary, I've done copy editing. If you ever need help with that, I may take you up on that. I have someone that I normally go to. We'll see. I might come at you on that. Thank you very much for offering. Wow. Okay, I caught everything up. I need to take a breath.
You did it.
Yeah. Goodness me. Lucy. How have you found like working on the Nightmare Detectives?
Oh, so I know I probably said this in the last stream, honestly, but when you first approached me about it, I did not anticipate it being a whole huge thing. I thought it was, honestly, I thought it was just gonna be like one session, maybe two, when we first talked about it, because that's usually what Monster of the Week is. And so I remember at some point, I can't remember if it was the first or second episode, but there was some point afterward where we were talking about, oh, we'll start doing it twice a week and we'll meet back here. And I was thinking, like, what did I just sign myself up for? But I have absolutely no regrets about committing to that, because if you know me or my channel at all, you will know that I am quite bad at having things on a schedule, and
that's
committing
what we bonded over.
committing to giant projects, etc., etc. Yeah. So I feel like I'm surprised and also not that this has, been able to go as long as it has, and that we are planning for so much more, no spoilers of course, in the future. But at the same time, it's so fun. It's nice to have that like point of stability, but also it's great because it's because it's gone on for so long. We're all such good friends now. Like, our characters have bonded in the game, and we as people have bonded outside the game. And of course, me and you, TJ, already knew each other, but as for the rest of the group, I didn't know anybody, and I don't think you guys knew each other very well either.
No, I think so. Chewy, we met. Chewy,
we met through a mutual. You and Trevin met through a mutual friend on a different Discord server.
Yes, that's right.
And then TJ approached us, me and Trevin, with the idea of playing Monster of the Week, and I was looking at the time for something like that, like a tabletop RPG style environment. And for me, it just happened to TJ was, for like Lucy said, we came in, no one knew anyone.
Did not know each other at all.
I believe the audio. So folks, the audio is actually up as well if you want to hear the awkwardness.
And you can tell,
and
you can tell in those first few episodes that no one's, we're not a group of friends yet.
No.
We'll say.
Yeah.
No.
We're not used to playing these RPGs at all or together.
For sure.
Nobody was bold enough to actually do anything, and we didn't know our characters very well.
But it has turned into probably one of the best things in my life right now.
Same, definitely.
Very fulfilling.
We have had our personal difficulties, and it's bonded us together, and it's something we all look forward to. And those early episodes are definitely there for you guys to check on the Patreon. They are awkward as hell, and they're so fun. I love them. And you hear that growth in all of us. My ability to do storytelling and combine audio cues, and it just became more and more of its own thing, and we started trusting each other, and that's how games are. I would encourage anyone who is either lonely or has had a difficulty in life and they're looking for something different to just sign up and play D&D, play Monster of the Week. And I've had people saying, can we use Sturgeon? You can absolutely use Sturgeon. I have no problem with that. I believe there are, I don't think I've told you guys this, I believe there are about half a dozen games ongoing right now in Sturgeon's universe. There's one guy who's been doing it on Twitch for a while, and I need to check the streams out. But people ask me this a lot, and I'm like, you can absolutely use it as long as you are not making a massive amount of money on it. It doesn't bother me at all. I have debated actually releasing, and this is a long-term goal, but I have debated releasing a set of material so people can play in Sturgeon. That is maybe a 2-year goal, because I would need to partner with the right people to make sure it was accessible, that it was done right, and it was cheap. All very important things to me, that, you know, new DMs, people who don't have a ton of money, can pay one payment and get, like, you know, 5 arcs or whatever out of it. I have talked with a couple of people about doing the kind of arcs we've done here, and then kind of making some of them more universal. So we'll see what ends up happening. But yes, so Rayleigh, again, sorry buddy, I might have stepped over that. You were saying what inspires me to create the Sturgeon mythos. So I did a full answer earlier on, but the short answer is Adventure Zone Balance, Terry Pratchett, and H.P. Lovecraft. That was what kind of pushed me. And a lot of anime, I'm just a big fan of, like, big story arcs and stuff like that. But if you go back maybe to the 45-minute mark, you'll have a full answer there. Ethan, have you guys gotten to more D&D style yet? No, we have not. We are going to be doing it. I will say this much, because it's not really a spoiler. We're doing Blades in the Dark after this for a little bit. Not a long campaign, but we're going to do it for a little bit. Then we're going to Pathfinder. There's a lot of different issues at the moment with D&D, traditional D&D. I don't know if they'll be resolved by that point, and if they're not, Pathfinder is actually better for what we're doing. So we'll be doing the Quiet Year to set up some extra Sturgeon lore, and at that time, again, we're talking probably, oh god, next summer, next winter, but, like, I will be actually giving you guys input. You guys will all be getting input into building Sturgeon. I will talk more about that nearer the time. Maybe we'll have a Discord about it. But my goal, my dream, is to have everybody who is a long-time fan have some degree of input in the game, which makes it even more immersive, I think. Especially because the Pathfinder campaign we next go on will take 3 years. Like, it's a big one. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's awesome. First few episodes were amazing. You'll just keep getting better. Thank you, Gambler. I really appreciate that. Hike, how do you balance your roles as a creepypasta narrator, voice actor, and author? Do you have a different creative process for each role? I do. It's different hats. You know, on any given day, I could be working in the studio for an audiobook or an advertisement, and I sort of just, you know, I'll have like a process to warm up, and I'll just go into it. And I also would count narrating for Dark Somnium. We just did an incredible rendition of The New Fish. One of my favorite voice roles to do. Got to work with a guy called Mikey Ken, who is just incredible. That dude blew me out of the water for how good he is. So I'll normally do that. Like, I'll have a bit of a performance mindset where, like, I will learn about the role. If it's stage acting, for example, that's a very long process. If it's pro wrestling, so for example, I'm you know, this time tomorrow I'll be heading to the airport. That is a lot. So I will get all the information on the wrestlers, most of which I'll know for this show, but I'll still get the info. I will find out the show notes. I will find out what I need to cover for my cold open. I will prepare it. I will write it, and then there's a whole realm of things. It's a whole experience doing that, and I love it, but it's exhausting. With writing, because creepypasta narrating and writing, yeah, those two are very different. So the narrating part, I will find the story, I will sit back, I will put some music on, and I'll just kind of go through it. Lucy sat with me many times, and I just kind of push on. I'm very much a stop, carry on. I just like to get it all done in one go. Writing is the one I get asked about the most, and that process is very different. I'm a pantser, so I have to write my work in big bursts. And now I'm using the 5-5-5-5 method. I think that's what it's called anyway. Oh gosh, actually, if I got it wrong, am I going to sound stupid on stream to like dozens of people?
I don't look at me. I don't know either.
I am going to quickly look this up now. It's like there's a writing methodology, and it's called short burst writing, but there is actually an Italian name for it. I'm not gonna find it now. It's gonna be gone. But there is basically a form where you write for, it might be 20, 20, 20, and 20. But you do 20 minutes of writing. You have a 5-minute break. You do another 20 minutes of writing, and that's worked very well for me. I often can't write in the same place I record anymore, so I will go to the countryside area where I live. I'll park my car up, I'll get my laptop out, and I'll just write. But oftentimes the inspiration's a bitch, and I will get the inspiration in the middle of doing something else, and I'll have to stop, and yeah, it's hard. And how do I balance it? Every day is work for me. But thankfully not to a point that it's detrimental at the moment. I'm very aware of that. I have good people around me who do this as a job in the same field as I do, and you know, we all talk about it. You know, there is a very real aspect of YouTube's burnout function where it's catering itself to short form content, and that's not what I'm doing, and I don't want to ever chase the algorithm. So thankfully the way I make money is not really through YouTube. And I don't really want it to be. That way I can put the content I want out in the quality I want whenever I want. And yes, manifestation method. Thank you, Mary. That is exactly it. And so, yeah, it's challenging. I mean, if you guys follow Seth Everman, he talked about this the other day about YouTube is not what it was. I've been on YouTube on and off for 16 years, and it's obviously changed a lot. But where it is now, I can't change that, but I can only do what I know people like, and that's where I'm sort of stuck. But where can you play the game at? Did I hear right? You could sign up and play. Oh, did I miss that? Was that a different game or?
That.
Oh, World of Horror. That might be.
Yeah, either that or it might be in reference to when you were talking about like making a Sturgeon.
Yeah. So if it's the Sturgeon thing, that's something I haven't done yet. That would be a year, 2 years down the line. I need to get the right people to put it out. But I will be making that a long-term project, and I will let you know if that's what you're referring to, Gambler. Sorry. Alex Nunez, I want Paint Gunkerson to use teleportation paint to save the crew and then dip. Huh.
Nice. Listen, Paint Gunkerson's got all kinds of paint. I'm sure to find any of it, he'd have to sort through his giant warehouse to get the right mixture.
That's interesting. Yeah, see what happens. But yeah, Rayleigh, have you ever heard of a game called Guilty Gear Strive? I have. I think the music might fit one of your characters, such as Nell Lockwood and Buck Nasty McGraw. I don't disagree. Buck is not in the Nightmare Detectives campaign for obvious reasons. Nell is. That is something I'm going to keep in mind. I love having new music, new soundtracks. You won't obviously hear it in the actual releases for like 6 months, but I will put that in there. And if ever we're doing anything else live, then 100% would put that in. Thank you very much, Ray. Alex, buddy, thank you very much. $9.99. But again, really appreciate it. Please don't spend what you don't have. Like, guys, just it's super appreciated. I'm just, whenever anyone's giving me money, I'm like, I don't know what to say. Thank you very much. That is really appreciated. Paint for the save. Paint is a savior of our game. Like, I think, is it fair to say, Chewy, Lucy, that there's been a mixture of emotions when it comes to Paint? Like, it's gone from frustration to mild admiration, and then like actual like respect and appreciation for him.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, not spoiling anything, but Paint continues to shock us and subvert our expectations. That is what I would say. I do think, I mean, it's like you said, you when you start off with a basic character idea, it tends to expand into something like that none of us could have predicted. So I think that's what happened with, for example, Babylon, who we were talking about earlier, and I think that's happened with Paint, and a lot of the other NPC characters like Endicott and everybody. Like, I think it's they all started off not like one-dimensional, but they all had a couple things that made them, and then they sort of took a life of their own and went from there. So yes, our opinion on Paint has definitely changed over time. I think at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, Callista is torn between annoyance and confusion in regards to Paint.
Yes.
That is, but there's some curiosity too, because
yeah, there's definitely a
weirdly
fascination
overpowered
with him. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is a man. He's a mystery wrapped up in an enigma. And I think that's why I love him so much. He's just and like again, I think one of the things I was taught when characterization is it's important for characters to have identifying traits. So like, yeah, I want some pain. Like, you know, that's something that immediately people will sort of jump on. Or Endicott doing his speeches. Like, you know, I try to do that with every character to the best of my ability. And yeah, what's wrong? Don't want Paint to paint mace the final boss. Bro, Paint would be an absolute unit in the final boss. When they have the Avengers meet up and everyone comes out the portals, don't you worry. We got some we got some abilities there. Window pane is a term for acid you could Okay, Paranormal Gambler, thank you very much. I'm adding that to the fucking list. One-Eyed Garden Gnome, glad I was able to catch your stream. Didn't know you had a Patreon, just joined. Oh, okay, thank you very much. So yeah, I just saw your pledge. I don't know if you want me to use your full name, so I won't until you say so. But thank you, I've seen that, and I will get you a message on there. We try to promote it every now and then, but I don't want it to be too overbearing. So I try to, you know, balance it as best I can. I think another reason we might do the Discord is that way everyone, we'll have like a once a month general stream, and then we'll have like Patreon, because we talked about doing Patreon streams anyway. But then we would have like an entire voice channel just for Patreon subscribers, and then they could talk directly to us, maybe? That might be something we do. Because that would be the way I wouldn't mind interacting if it's curated like that, I think. I would just get very nervous and shy, and also too tired to like talk one-on-one. I think that'd be a real... My schedule is so bad and all over the place, so... I'll defer to Lucy. Lucy's like my handler, so we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, subhuman self for now, and let me carve you. Okay, I'm making a note of those, Rayleigh. Thank you very much. That's definitely. And wait a minute, can Paint Gunkerson be able to create copies of others? If so, I think about you overpowered.
Okay, listen.
Lucy.
Paint. Here's my opinion: is that Paint is overpowered. It's just that he has no stakes in this final.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
yeah.
If Paint were involved in the final battle, there'd be no use for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Paint
he's got to step back and let the Nightmare Detectives do some stuff.
Paint's kind of like the old man character in anime, where like he's clearly got all the powers. He's just like, I can't be bothered. Like I'm not interested. His store. Yeah, he's running his store. We do see more of him in the next arc, though. We see a lot of him in the next arc, so that's gonna be cool. But I think Paint is. It's also about motivations. He's like an idiot god. Like he really is. Like the dude is single-minded in his focus of Paint supremacy. I don't think there's anything that would make him want to put himself in front of like the big bad endgame bosses. That being said, he can clone himself with Paint. I just don't think it's ever occurred to him. I don't think the world could handle a Paint singularity. Given that
we already have Victor.
Well, this is it. Victor Mendoza, who you guys are about to meet. Like, Rayleigh, if you love Paint Gunkerson, if you guys as a group love Paint Gunkerson, Victor Mendoza is going to blow your fucking mind. Victor is our multiversal shit poster. And I'll talk more about him at the next stream. I based him off of one of my closest friends, which then turned into a regular appearance, which then turned into him joining us at the halfway point of the campaign. And I will be giving a disclaimer about how he is to begin with, because he's not very good with etiquette. And then he learned very quickly about that, you know, we record this as a show, so God bless him. Love him to bits. Does Callista ever deliver on the premium computer dust for Endicott? Oh no, you were close on the spelling there. It's Endecott, Endicott. But that's you weren't far off, Ethan. Does she? No.
I'm
Callista,
not gonna lie,
I don't think you do.
I don't remember offering that. Did I offer that? I don't know.
I think someone. Well, I know he was promised a micro center where the good shit is.
I remember that.
He never went there. Or
here's
not so
the thing.
far in the game.
It's been a long time since we've done Hotel Inertia in like from where we are right now.
Yes.
We did that a while ago.
7 months.
I don't remember what I said like 2 days ago. Okay, I'm sure Callista said something like that. The transcripts, the ones that I have done transcripts for, which I think I've only done like 4 or 5. Those have really
quite a few. They're really hard to do, though. I don't blame you for not doing all of them. They are. I mean, if ever Patreon subscribers really pushed for it, we would have to pay you for it. I think that's only fair, because it's you're going through 3 hours of audio and typing it all out. It's so much work.
It's fun.
Like,
though,
you were
is the
doing it
thing.
because you wanted to do it. Like, to be clear, I never told Lucy to do it, but I was so grateful that it was done. Like, I think the summaries are great though that you do.
Right. Well, I guess that's what I mean. Is like, I don't remember specifics of what any of us do or say until I do the transcript things, and I haven't done them recently because I haven't had time. And yeah, it's just an optional project that I've had fun with. I would like to do it again soon because I really want to. Like, that's the way that I listen back to the episodes, is I have to be extra about it or else I don't do it. So anyway, the point is, I don't remember that. So no, but you know, I look forward to being humbled on many of the other things that I say and then immediately forget about. It's gonna be great.
So good, so good.
I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but I love the fact you're doing it. And Mary, thank you very, very much for joining. Thank you for all the advice, and obviously, I will make sure that we we keep you in the loop about what we're doing with regards to the proofreading. Obviously, it's nice that you're there, and the Discord. I think you really are onto something there, and it's something we might actually have to talk about that. So that's a really good point. But thank you so much for joining us, Mary. And Mr. Normie is an adorable name. If we do this Discord, I'm setting up a pet section. That's where you'll find me most of the time, looking at doggos and cats and all sweet creatures. If you guys don't know from the campaign already, I love animals and I love putting them in like as cute little mascots. Just sweet babies. Ethan, during one of the preludes when the audio wasn't good, it was after the paint Sasquatch. In the intro, you had him introduce the episode and Luce promised him. Oh,
I remember this. I actually do remember this now that you said that. This was okay. If I remember correctly, I think he's talking about the second primer, where you and I got on the call and you were like, how do we introduce this in? And I was like, oh, I cannot remember why I said Endicott, but I had you do the Endicott voice.
That's
where he, like,
right.
I had Endicott. Sorry, it wasn't Endicott. The real Endicott stumbled in and introduced the show, and I may or may not have made a promise of computer dust as payment. I think that's what happened.
Ethan, I think you've made that canon. I think that is now canon. So at some point, although we are very far ahead, we're gonna have to do something where Endicott maybe does a skit, comes in and does a bit with Callista at the beginning of an episode to get that computer dust. I think we're gonna have to resolve that.
The best part about it is that I don't think Callista promised him that in that case. I think I promised him that as Luce. I think I promised him.
So you can
computer
introduce.
dust,
You can introduce. We've got a couple of intros we need to do for the finale and stuff.
Great.
For before the next interlude. We'll just have you introduce the interlude and Endicott will come in.
Perfect.
That's great.
Awesome.
Ethan, I am going to make sure you are credited appropriately for that. That is a scene manifested by Ethan Nelson. In addition to Rayleigh No Stick and putting in some ideas, Paranormal Gal. You guys have given us some fucking gold tier material today. My God.
Yeah, I'm happy to interact with every NPC in the world, and you can quote me on that. And I probably, the thing is, like, Callista would not. No. She would not be happy with that. Lucy, I would be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll probably do another half an hour, gang, and then we're gonna wrap up because there's still a few more things to go with. We've had another pledge from PRDEL12 on Patreon. Thank you very much. So the Patreon does have a lot of early access material. I put up as much of the material as I can in like a couple days early, so I'm just working on the next video for the weekend while I'm away. That should go up tonight or tomorrow. Obviously, the Patreon subscribers are now 4 episodes ahead, I believe, on the Nightmare Detectives. And we have one-shots as well. There's also the Graves We Dig text stories up there. I try to make it... I believe my Patreon is extremely busy in comparison to others. Like, I try and put up as much as I physically can. If anyone is giving me their hard-earned money, regardless of whether it's $1, $5, whatever it is, I believe you guys deserve to make sure you're getting, you're getting your money's worth. So that is there. Obviously, if you want to check it out, patreon.com/dusklightradio. But I don't want to shill it too much. That's not why we're here today. We're here today to celebrate 5,000 bloody subscribers. It's kind of insane. We are updating some of the thumbnails as well because they are not always the best, so we'll be sorting that out in the background. Rayleigh, I always imagine Lucy K's character to be a fluffy white cat with adorable eyes. You're not far off. You're not far off.
Is that referring to Callista? Because that's so funny. Is that referring to Callista, or are they making a new character for me?
Well, let's find out. Rayleigh, you let us know. Callista... Okay, so Callista's not a computer dust distributor, but Lucy is. That is canon.
I am. Yes, that is canon.
Lucy is a... on the level, it's legal. It's medicinal.
Yeah.
It's medicinal computer dust. It's at a dispensary.
Where do you think Endicott got all his computer dust from?
Yeah. Lucy is
the
key enabler for for
Oh, good. That's my role. That's my role in Sturgeon, is the canon enabler.
I mean,
awesome.
your other character has a different relationship with Endicott, so really, I feel like this is the middle ground.
Yeah, that's fair.
You gotta have that side hustle. Chewie's absolutely right. Very quickly, a couple shout outs to people who couldn't make it today. Koya Kiss, one of our Netherlands listeners, who checks out Dusklight with their morning coffee. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure I shouted you out. CJ Kassan, 2196. I'm really glad we are able to help you with, living with severe physical pain. Not all disabilities are visible, and those that really kind of weigh on the mind, weigh on the soul, weigh on the body. If we can provide a respite for that, that's incredible. Thank you so much for that distinction. Jimmy Beamer Bear, this channel is tight. Awesome. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, my friend. Feeny Von Karma, a mainstay of this channel, a constant supporter of Dusklight and a supporter of the Nightmare Detectives. I can't read the comment she left because it's on the next episode next week, which Patreon guys got early. But I know Feeny was going to try and join, but obviously in Britbong land where I'm at, it's very late, so I don't blame you. I wanted to make sure you got a shout out. Who else do we have here? There's a couple others. Fainted Whooper, classic member from OG Dusklight. I'm glad you're enjoying the drive-thrus. As I said, we'll do a super video. That might actually... I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to see what my schedule's like, but I'm either going to put up a super video of the Dusklight drive-in, or I will do one more Dusklight drive-in and add that on at the end. I'm not 100% because I want to get some content ahead. So yeah, Yota Mike, I can't get enough of your stories. TJ would love to be a part of one someday. Hey man, I'm always willing to put names into stories. I'm always willing to put them into NPC characters in the Nightmare Detectives. I will keep that in mind. Man, it is kind of insane how many people we've got here. Mr. Erica Claus, someone else, she's always here. So appreciated. Violet, Purple Mountain's Majesty, or Periwinkle. I'm going to throw this to you guys. What do you guys think? Which do you prefer?
Sorry, run over those one more time.
Sure. Violet, Purple Mountain's Majesty, or Periwinkle.
Okay, that middle one was the one that threw me off. I don't know what that is.
I mean, I think it's a shade of purple.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it really quick.
Okay. Chewie, you Google as well.
I'll say, well, am I answering this as Chewie or Jimmy?
Oh.
I need to know.
Let's have both.
Because that's important. Okay, well, okay. All right, well, we are both going to go with Periwinkle.
Periwinkle, wow, that's a bold choice. Okay, all right.
I'm a bold man.
You are a very bold man. Do you know what? I'm looking at Periwinkle. That is a gorgeous shade.
It is a really good color.
I have a few shirts in that color. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
Wow, and our stream must be loving this. We have now devolved to debating shades of purple. Mind you, I am the purple crayon eater, so it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I like violet. I do like violet. It's a little bit too bright for me. Purple Mountain's Majesty is an interesting color. I didn't know that. That's a crayon. That makes sense. Now that okay, no, I'm going with Purple Mountain's Majesty. That's it. TJ and Janet at TJ both choose Purple Mountain's Majesty. 100% where we're going with that. Gamma.
Maybe it's a crayon.
Gamma Akutabi. OG member Jason and Gamma, the terrifying twosome. Oh, my brother, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're safe. Please let me know how you're getting on. Hopefully Evan. Oh yeah, that's a point, Alex. Did Evan DS not join us? I hope he is able to make it. If he's not, Evan, we appreciate you. We love you very much. Thank you for being such a great support of the channel. And yeah, I just always grateful to anyone who's like a long-time subscriber, long-time fan or Patreon member. Amy, I think this is just a question Mysterica Claus asked about just my favorite color of purple, because obviously my role at Dusklight is being the janitor with the purple crayon wife, which has now become the purple crayon army. So definitely should factor that into Nightmare Detectives at some point.
I just want to make it clear I'm agreeing with Chewy. Periwinkle is really good color.
I've still got a couple more. God, I've still got messages. Goodness me. Good guys. You guys are too good to me. Alex Nunez. So you had a couple, buddy. How many different voices have you created / used? If you're not sure, estimate. I'm actually going to ask.
Ooh.
I'm going to ask Chewy and Lucy to guess, because I don't know.
Oh no. How many voices you've used?
I think this is for detectives. I think it's for Nightmare Detectives.
Oh, good. I was gonna say I would never.
That's not possible. I think
No.
Alex is. I think he's asking specifically for that. And Amy's chosen Periwinkle. Great choice. 50 Shades of Paint from Paranormal Gambler.
Callisto choose Purple Mountain Majesty.
I'm saying 50 Shades of Pink sounds like a one-shot.
Oh god.
That's one that would not make it past the censorship barrier on monetization.
Nope.
I don't need to monetize. To be honest, I do so many songs for our channel now. I've gotten to a point, gang, in our games where I have just given up on copyright and I just put in epic tracks. Like, I love Final Fantasy 16 and I use like big boss fight music. I just kind of don't care because I know that I'm not going to make money. So I might actually do that. 50 Shades of Pain. But it will not be sexual. Absolutely not. Unless it's a ballista focused. No, we can't talk about ballista yet.
Well, that's what I was.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
That's kind of where I was leaning towards.
No.
What if we did Ballista and the Paint Factory and it's like a Charlie?
Oh,
there
there you go.
No.
I do have one, which is the last Victor Mendoza one shot. Do you know what it's called? Every Victor, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh lord.
Oh man. Yay.
I still haven't seen that
Oh,
movie.
right, gang. A recommendation from your favorite half-dead host and his janitor. Go and see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It sounds so
It's
good. I just
one
haven't
of
seen
the
it yet.
greatest, funniest, sweetest films I have ever fucking seen. I just adore it, and it has great stories about being in a second generation or third generation Asian heritage, being a queer person in that kind of family, and what it means just to make difficult choices in life. It's just incredible, honestly. Just and also before I forget, welcome Arkham Cookie, another classic member. Sleep is important, buddy. I'd rather you get your sleep. That's important. It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once, Gambler. 100% recommend it. Rayleigh Gnostic, Amos trying to be a good dad for once, but ended up confronting the IRS in front of Nell. You've got a whole IRS arc, Rayleigh. I remember your art from fucking Twitter, and I love this. Please keep doing it. The fact you've got this entire fucking complicated IRS arc. Like, I remember you did one where they're in the middle of the tournament, and then it's like, haha, got you now, Nell. I'm from the IRS. Like, it was like so funny.
That's
Like,
so specific, but so good.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So, what was your answer, Amy? Sorry, Lucy.
As to how many voices?
Yes.
Okay, because I've been sitting here trying to think about it. I don't know, because the thing is, we've had like a bunch of, because we have the NPCs, right? But there's also so many like random side characters that show up for like an episode or one scene or whatever, and they all have their own.
There was a voice I used for the episode in Knowledge is Power where you get trapped in the paint vat with that nerdy guy with the really scrunched up voice. I used him once, never used him again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many random side characters. So like, I don't.
Should we
like,
say?
including
should we
those?
say about where you're up to in the game right now? What about that? If we just said from where we're in the campaign, ending Hotel Inertia. How about that?
Man,
Thomas the Tank Engine is real. Yeah, he's called Choo Choo Charles Rayleigh.
I don't know.
So
like,
we've got Wilhelm.
20?
Wilhelm.
To guess.
Mueller.
Mueller. Yeah, like Kruger,
Nish, Endicott. That's 5.
Endicott, yeah.
Magister Coriolanus,
Concierge.
Nolan, the Concierge, Lily Quinn, OF Province. That's 10. Paint Gunkerson, the man in the shack in Bloodborne, Nautilus, Ndowu and Moreau. That's another 5. That's 15. Burn, Robin, Grandma, the Doctor, the Voice on the Hill. That's 20.
The
Pursuer.
What's it called?
The
Pursuer. I was gonna say
Wendy, Vicar Amelia.
You've covered a lot of them so far. This is good.
There were 2 members of the council I used, so that's another 5. That's 25. Dennis, obviously Dennis Rowe.
Dennis, yeah. Is that like most of them at least? I think that's at least most of them.
So in one arc, I think I did like nearly. Oh yeah, Victor Mendoza.
Duh. Okay, yeah. Duh. Yeah, so about 30.
About
right?
30. In one arc. I would say, Chewy, what do you think about overall? Oh, the gorilla from the gorilla from the monkey pit.
Oh God,
and Bubbles. Bubbles as well. That's 2 more. That's 32. Sully, that's 33. JJ, that's 34.
Is JJ in the?
No, but I'm counting Mantis Bay as well. Muldoon.
Oh well, there's more in Mantis Bay.
Faye.
Eliza.
Yeah, the butler, Carstairs. Carstairs. Yeah, Carstairs was great. I wish I'd done more of him. So I would say probably about up to Hotel Nash's end, probably about 40, and that number balloons after that, because then I would say. Would you guys say I probably got maybe like 80 to 100 voices at the current state of the campaign?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking somewhere close, probably to 100 of voices.
I was thinking
through the whole campaign.
We should write down every. Do you know what? I might on the weekend we might actually do. Not weekend. Like when we got time, I'm actually sitting and write down every voice and every NPC, because I'm really curious as to how many I've actually put into this game now.
Ethan, don't say that.
Okay,
don't say that.
Do not say that.
Don't say that. Do not. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it.
But
I can't.
There might be a phrase uttered here if that keeps up.
Ethan, I am. You guys ever heard of Pavlov's bell, where you ring the dinner bell and the dogs salivate? I have conditioned them to fear JJ so much that the mere mention of him makes their skin crawl. We did the horror stream, which obviously, if you guys have checked it out, our Halloween one-shot, 5 hours at Mendoza's, or 5 hours at Victor's, and the WoW of 87. I did a JJ section, and obviously in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, you have to put the mask on, and you have to stay there, and you can't move. And I obviously thought, I've got a fun chance to really fuck with Lucy, who hates JJ Watson from Beneath the Static. And I then did the voice, and because I've got an omnidirectional mic, I started moving around the microphone left or right. And Lucy hated it. I will not do the voice, but they genuinely find him so uncomfortable, and it's great.
I cringe.
Thank you, Ethan.
Every
that is a
time
gift you've given me. Thank you.
I cringe every time he does the voice. I just I can't do it. I don't know why.
So I'll give you a little snippet, right? Because I won't torture them. But if I read Gamma's as JJ's voice, you'll hear Lucy cringe. So.
Okay.
Gamma Akutami asks, how do you come with the voices? What makes them stick to the character? And how easy is it to reprise the voice? Lulu hates it. Absolutely hates it. It's great. It makes me very happy. And
of course it does.
Shout out to the president of the Peyton Club. How do you come up with the voices? What makes them stick to the character? Yeah, so how easy to... Okay, so reprisal is actually difficult. I have the shortest fucking memory. The amount of times in the game we've gone... I've said to Chewy, I'm like, is this American or is this English? And we don't know. We don't even know.
We don't, there's a lot of
what is
times
this
it goes back and forth.
Yeah, we have a lot of arguments, too, about, like, which one we thought it was. None of us write it down. It's a whole thing.
Going to get better. So one thing that we genuinely, I do need to do, and every D&D DM with like Assault does it, is I need to put a table character, alignment, voice, you know what I mean? Like, I need to do that sort of stuff. That's where I need to study. So we're going to do that in the future. I've been relying on my memory, which is not good. So we're going to sort that out. But yeah, thank you for that, Ethan. That was a gift for me. But yeah, the reprisal can be difficult. Shout out to Dom, Cookie. He'll know what it means. Crystal Wagner, Paint Gunkerson. People love, man, we're gonna have to do some paint merch. I actually
Everybody
think
loves Paint Gunkerson.
you know what? If we ever get I think we could agree as a group. If we ever got a U2's deal or one of those things, I actually think if not Baby Callista, I think Paint Gunkerson might be the first bit of merch we ever did. He's just marketable.
I'm gonna have to stick with the Baby Callista though.
We'll see what they think when they get. But the thing is, it's not as often. You know what I mean?
Do we Baby Callista on the main channel yet?
It's fine. That's not a spoiler.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Baby Callista means nothing. It's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, we literally, guys.
Don't listen to anything I said.
Yeah, but like we literally have like a whole thing. We have a one shot called the Baby Detectives and the No Good, Very Bad, Not Good Dream. And that doesn't tell you anything, but that's canon. That's like a canon one-shot you'll get around probably February, March. And it is Everyone is a Baby Detective. It's absolutely wonderful. It was so much fun. So much fun. So we got to do that. Rayleigh Knox and JJ Watson shaking hands with Barack Obama. They do have similar voices.
Do they? Well,
A little bit. They both have that low register. JJ's just based on a broadcaster. He's just got that kind of like, typical broadcast voice. Ethan, that one shot was amazing. Thank you very much. Did Luce cringe in the NFC when you had him fight Wendy? Lucy?
I just responded to that in chat as well. I was saying, like, me personally, I did not know JJ well enough as a character yet to really feel that sort of ick. But I was saying,
didn't do it live. Did you do it live with me? Because I know I did the direction for that very differently. I had everyone fun little peel behind the curtain for you guys. When we did the NFC, I directed all of the audio for that. Ronnie was very good to trust me, that Dark Somnium. And so when we had Autumn Ivy, who was an absolute delight of a human being, wonderful person, incredible professional. I had them and I had Rom, and when we had that big, it's very anime. They shouted each other's names at the same time and clashed. I told them, I want this at the same time, and Somnium got what I was going for, and it was so cool. But I directed Lulu, and I didn't do the voice with her at the time, so she didn't hear JJ's original voice until after it came out.
Right. So I didn't really get that full experience, but I was just saying in the chat, like, if I had, I definitely would have yelled at him more as Wendy. I feel like some of me would have come out a little bit because I like yelling at JJ. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, but I mean that was such a great scene. I mean there's a lot more JJ coming up in the game, and there's more JJ coming up in NFC. So we are, just to address that real quick. Cause I'm just the fact you guys are still here. It's been 2 hours. You guys are fucking insane. Ronnie and I have talked about it a lot. I don't like speaking on his schedule because that's not my, I'm very blessed that he does my work and we love working together. I never want to speak on his schedule. That's not my place. But we have a plan. One of the questions was, are we going to do Beneath the Static? It has been done on Chilling, and I would recommend you check it out there. They have always been great supporters of me. Shout-outs to Chris and Dane. They are just incredible people. They have tirelessly backed me, and I'm really proud of what they're doing. I was one of the first, and I hate saying this, but like big authors that they went to. Me and Autumn were a part of their funding drive. I think they're an incredible set of people, and I believe in what they're doing. And a lot of the listeners that I got there, and a lot of the doors, like with Dead Meat, were opened to me through Chilling. So definitely check it out there. But me and Ronnie have talked. We are going to adapt the book first because it's something that I've told him I'm really passionate about. He wants to do Beneath the Static. We have plans for year 2, and we will do the NFC. We are going to do all of it. It's just time. Ronnie has obviously other phenomenal authors that he has to work with or wants to work with. So it's just fitting into the schedule. But we will get there. Don't you worry. We will get there. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've just checked the chat. Alex, buddy, thank you very much. I don't know what and Ethan as well. Guys, thank you very much. You know you don't need to. I just want to say that again. You know you don't need to. This is Super appreciate it. Thank you very much. Alex, thanks for taking the voice question so seriously. Lol, that's wild. I gotta admit, how you make the kid voices uncanny in the creepiest, cool, innocent way. It's weird. Which one's the kid voice?
I don't know. I was also thinking about that.
Alex, could you clarify which one you mean there, just so I know, because I don't want to misconstrue that. But of course I'm going to take it seriously. If you're asking me a question, I'm going to answer as honest as I can. And Ethan, you all make me so happy. It's amazing. I love the detection. Thank you for the amazing times. That's really sweet. And I know you want to. And obviously, again, if you're in a position to, that's wonderful. But I just, the hangout and the fact we've had, this is just me being me. The fact we've had 20 concurrent viewers for this whole stream, that's wonderful. That's
so cool.
That's fucking insane. Lulu will remember when we first met, I was actually doing Twitch streams at the time. I wrote all of the last Sin Eater on Twitch. Not a smart decision. Pandemic Teej was not smart. You don't write your entire material up for everyone to see. But I got like maybe 8 to 9 listeners, and I was really happy about that. Like, that was insane that 8 people gave a shit. And obviously it's different because when you're getting videos out, they're not coming just for you. They're coming for Dark Somnium. They're coming for the cast. Someone mentioned about they can only hear Temperance when you speak, by the way, Lucy.
Oh, good.
And that's great. That's a classic. But to have it on my channel, something I have cultivated and worked towards, is just, it's awesome. You know, and I wanted the cast here, or at least who could make it here. I wanted Chewy in particular because I wanted them to see, you know, they hear from me, oh, the videos have gotten a couple thousand views and there's people like, but it's different when you see them there talking about your characters, right? Like, I think Paranormal Gambler just said, whatever happened to the guy who just wants to rage? Oh, well, Chewy, why don't you tell us about the guy that just wants to rage?
Oh, we know Jimmy would like to rage, but
down a shot.
But no, Jimmy is doing just fine,
I think that's another thing.
More or less, yeah.
We definitely should get a shirt or a mug that says Jimmy would like to rage. I actually have thought about doing merch, and again, I want to make sure it's ethically sourced. I want to make sure it's accessible, and it needs to be good quality. If any of you follow me on Instagram, which you're more than welcome to. I obviously I don't answer DMs, but it's the TJ Lee, just TheTjaylea. I put up on my Instagram stuff like my fits and my traveling and wrestling. I do not like merchandise that is basic. I am not a fan of simple merch. If I was going to do like a long sleeve, I like busy long sleeve stuff. So like if we did some Nightmare Detectives content, art. We are commissioning artwork in the next month, and that will be for the logo for Spotify. Yep, it's all going on Spotify, baby. And we're gonna have a poster for every arc, which I haven't actually told Lucy or Chewy about, so there you go.
That's cool.
I said a while ago that it was very important to me that if we had any art of our characters, it was done by proper artists. We've used Midjourney just for our own personal consumption. It is not something I want to use in lieu of proper artists doing the work. So it's very important to me that we have those people kind of like being supported, and we've got some incredible artists I've got in mind. So please bear with us. That will be coming very soon. Alduin looks up to find Black Van with 2 men in suits staring at her afar, her eyes wide. With the realization she got caught again, she sprung out right for the fuck's sake, Ray. All right, Ray. Ray, again. You have worn me down. I will, and this is a promise, and Lucy can hold me honest to this. I will at some point have a IRS skit in the Nightmare Detectives and in the NFC Season 2. I will find a place for it. Like that is my pledge to you, because you have put this down so much that I have to do it. I mean, it'll be more of a passing thing in the book, because that's kind of harder to do comedy in, but yeah. I
mean, the Nightmare Detectives have not paid taxes ever
well,
yet,
Sturgeon.
so.
True.
This is true though, but Sturgeon's not America, so it doesn't have IRS.
No.
Because like
good point.
Yeah.
I mean, but they probably do have people that would
Their own version.
control their tax income.
They do have, yeah. So I kind of think of it like, imagine trying to tax a nightmare creature or a wizard. They're not gonna have it. But definitely we could have some form of taxes in there. I'm gonna think about that.
Imagine trying to tax any of us.
Yeah.
I don't think that would go very well.
Yeah, that would not work.
In different ways.
Yeah. Alex, I may be mistaken, but there are 2 videos where we make a kid voice. Oh, okay, so if it's on another production, then yeah, I've definitely done that at some point. One on DS, I might be embarrassing mistake with what might be. No, that's okay. I've definitely done a kid voice. It's just not something I've done often, you know what I mean? So I just couldn't remember where it was from, but I'm just glad that, you know, the voices really appeal, you know? That's really appreciated. All right, I'm going to wrap up in a minute, but I'm going to check to make sure I've not missed anything. I think I got everybody.
I think so.
I can't hear spirit voices without quietly thinking to myself, fuck Temperance, they did so damn good. That's from Shima's Maguire. That's great.
Aww.
That's so good.
It's been so long since I did that. I barely remember my part.
Stars on Her Brain, thank you for the love hearts. And on The Observer, I love the narration to your intro. Keep up the hard work. Oh, and good writing, very enjoyable. That gosh darn blep, congrats on the 5k followers, found you to Dark Somnium. I love your voice and narrations. Keep it up. Thank you so much. CK Legion, I know you've been commenting recently. Thank you very much as well if you check that out. Endgamer, I know you've just dropped in. Thank you very much. God, man, there's so many of you guys. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed, and this is not possible without any of you guys. I think I'm nearly wrapped up now. I think we're about to close the stream, and we will do another one when we nearly get to 10,000, I think. And we're gonna talk about the Discord thing off camera. But you guys are just incredible. There's gonna be a quick ad roll, I think. Yeah, looks like it's going there. I didn't know how it was gonna work when I set it up, but yeah, you guys have been absolutely incredible. To have any donations is not something I was ever asking for or expected. So Alex, Ethan, PRDL, like all of you guys, thank you so much for doing donations like this, and Mary as well for all the suggestions. BS Artists, I mean, all you guys, just and $4.99 for Mary as well. Thank you very much. Any thoughts from you guys before we finish up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, just on behalf of Chewie and myself, and of course the other detectives who aren't here, but like, thank you guys for all the nice words about our characters. Yes. I don't know if we've properly said that yet, because, you know, I think I speak for everybody when I say that these characters have a very special place in our hearts, and it means a lot when people say nice things about them. I know on one of the more recent Hotel Nurship videos, there was a comment about Callista and Jimmy. And I think it was when Callista, this was a while ago, I think Callista was using like Soothe on Jimmy, and it was like a sweet moment.
And moment.
We got a comment about that, and that was nice. Like, it's great that people, you know, like our characters, first of all, that's important, and then also just appreciate the bond that they have with each other, because we've worked really hard to facilitate that. So
oh yeah, anytime we see comments, like for me, like I love hearing, oh, you know, TJ, it's, you know, had a lot of fun, I really enjoy your world. But you know what makes me happier is when people are like, I love Chewie's character Jimmy for this, and I love this character. That's what I want to see. So if you ever feel like you're really passionate, because we all know what, you know, it's like to be passionate in a fandom, don't hide that. You're welcome to put that in the chat. Tell us what you think about these characters, their pairings, their you know, these moments. It means the world to me. It means the world to all of us. And PRDL, so it's AS12. Okay, yeah, if you want the translation for that, then AS12 it is, my guy. And Arkham Cookie just came up with an incredible suggestion. Maybe the IRS-like people could be Sturgeon Farmers Collective.
Oh my god.
That is fucking
that sounds
amazing.
Horrible. That sounds horrible.
Just imagine. All right, let's leave on this note. Just imagine